turnout is going to be the key to victory in November. The parties are trying to rally their base while courting both independent voters and Hispanic voters, one of the fastest growing voting blocs across the nation. Turning out Latinos could make the difference in who wins and who loses the race for the White House. Matt Barreto, the co-founder of polling firm Latino Decisions, breaks down the importance of the Hispanic vote for both the Clinton and Trump campaigns. Matt, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
So, Matt, as you're looking at this election, do you think Latinos will turn out in the numbers that people have expected, or will it be a 2014 kind of situation where there'll be underperformance by Latino voters? And what do you think is driving this enthusiasm? Is there a single cause, or is it multiple reasons?
Well, I think it's a push into pull. So you have both enthusiasm, but you also have incredible frustration. I mean, some of the comments that have been made on the Republican side during the primaries about anchor babies, about Mexicans as rapists, as about building the wall, as well as some of the other comments about other immigrants, such as Muslim immigrants. These have really inflamed a lot of frustration in the Latino community. And you're seeing not only everyday people coming out and protesting, but the advocates and the advocacy groups are very involved this year. There's been a lot of attention on Latino millennials as the new force. So you have that combination, and if that continues, if that frustration and enthusiasm continues, that's a recipe for very high engagement and Latino turnout.
Well, let me ask you a question. Several polls, Pew among others, show that Latinos, like other Americans, care about the economy and security and so forth, yet immigration continues to be a touchstone for this voter group. Can you explain how that works? Why is immigration so critical, especially since most Latinos were born in the U.S.?
Certainly, I think that's a question we get all the time, and there's no question that issues like the economy, wage equality, access to good health care, these are top issues in the Latino community. But the immigration issue is just a much more personal issue. We find in our polling that 2/3 of Latino voters personally know someone who is an undocumented immigrant, and up to 1/3 know someone who has actually been detained or deported. And so the immigration issue, it's a family issue. It's an issue that almost everyone, even if they were born in the U.S., has immigrant parents or immigrant grandparents or immigrant friends. And so it's an issue that's very close and personal. And when candidates start taking positions to say that they want to deport parents of U.S. citizens, for example, that's an issue that strikes at the heart of the Latino community. And so because of that, it elevates in importance. Perhaps it becomes more salient or more top of the mind than some of these other issues like the economy. And so because of that, it's an issue that can mobilize Latinos, even when surveys show sometimes that people are saying, yes, I care about jobs, I care about wages and the economy. Immigration is the issue that gets them to the polls.
And last question, what is the threshold number of Latinos or percentage of Latino voters that a Republican or a Democrat has to earn in order to be elected president?
Well, we used to think that that number was 40% because that was a number that George W. Bush was able to get. But that was back in 2000, 2004. Much has changed. The Latino vote has gotten much larger since then. And as a result, Republicans need to do better. And we've done a state-by-state analysis to look at that. And our estimates nationally are that the Republican Party needs to be between 42 and 47% of the Latino vote if they're going to be competitive with the national electorate in 2016.
Matt, thank you very much for joining me today.
It's my pleasure, Fernando.